States have reopened, but COVID-19 looms large, threatening to keep consumers away. We're also going to talk the Snyder Cut. I'm Joe.
I'm Josh.
You've got questions?
You're feeling grounded.
You're feeling grounded.
All right.
Is that the intro we'll use?
That's fine with me.
And then we'll do and then right at this point there will be like an intro, and then like with a big screen. You're feeling grounded, like with the voiceover.
Yeah.
Welcome to Feeling Grounded with your hosts, Josh and Joe.
Wow, man, you were looking good with that hair. Did you do your hair today?
Oh, yeah.
That's all bedhead.
Yeah, just rolled out this morning. And,
this is certainly bed beard. Every time I put the mask on and then take it off, it's just like.
No, I know it's bad. It's rough stuff.
It makes me look, from like a mountain man from the neck up.
Nice. Actually, yeah. So, 2021 is kind of the big year of change for me and for my life. So I thought I would grow the hair out. I haven't had it this long, honestly, since freshman year of college, I think. So
yeah.
How many years ago was that? Like 6 years ago?
That was 2013, 2014, something like that.
Yeah.
And we were living like right across the hall from each other, and we did not say too many words to each other until sophomore year.
That's right. True. Yeah. And I'm growing the beard out. I'm trying this weird thing where like the chin is longer than the sides.
Oh, that's kind of like a Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan type of look. Like the goatee was longer, but every other side was shorter. I tried that for a little bit, and then what I'm doing right now is the year challenge. I don't know if the mic is picking up year.
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry for the people just listening. Yeah, so I'm growing it out. I'm on a good, I started January 15th. So It's going on 2 months right now, just a little bit over. By December, I'm going to get like a good 6 inches out of it.
Nice. There you go.
And then once hopefully masks are off, it'll be nice and well groomed for the whole day.
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah, I know I hate what masks do. It's just like, it makes it all nasty.
Yeah. Though I have not really, what?
Go ahead.
What?
I was gonna say you should do the man bun.
I've tried it a little bit. It's
Yes.
I don't have any. I'm obviously not a girl. Last I've checked, I don't have any of those like hair ties.
Right.
Whatever.
I'll send you some.
All right. I'll make it. Well, I'm getting my haircut next Tuesday. So if it comes before then, I'll just pick one off the street or something. Like they're always there. It's just like socks. Which, by the way, socks. Why is it that there's only one sock that you see on the street? Like, where'd the other one go? You know,
the sock monster took it.
Well, probably the socks that you lose in the washing machine or dryer, respectively. That's where they go. They like immediately go to the street.
Just get sucked out and tossed into the outdoors.
Into the void. Like a black hole.
Love it. But going back to haircuts, I was looking up things for this podcast because I was wondering if like when you made the Instagram or whatever, which you should follow us on Instagram. What's the channel called again? What's our page?
Channel is called Feeling Grounded Podcast. Just one word. Feeling Grounded Podcast.
Yeah, so you should follow us. But anyway, so I was looking for that and I saw this picture of you. Okay. And it was like the slickest haircut I've ever seen. And I don't know if it was like posted on if you went to a barber and you got this.
Yes. That was immediate. It was immediately after the haircut. And what happened was, I think the person had like their own social media account for haircuts specifically. And then she was like, "Do you want me to like take your picture for Instagram?" And I'm like, "Okay." It's like Drake and Josh. Whoa, just take it easy, man.
Yeah. That's a deep cut.
Whoa, just take it easy, woman. But she was very nice. Like I would love to see her again, although it's been since quarantine since I've gotten a haircut. I'm sure she's left that place, maybe. But I kind of find it awkward because basically where you are at the haircut place, it's like the front of the store. People are walking in and they just see you with like your fresh cut and like you're just awkwardly like just smiling, like just cheesing at while other people kind of look all disheveled and they're looking at you with like, if looks could kill, I want that haircut.
Nice.
I get kind of like, this is just me. I feel like I don't look as good right after a haircut because I feel like they don't know me. They don't know the way I style. So yeah.
They don't know the way of it.
When I go into it, or sorry, come out of the haircut, I kind of in my car, I don't want to fix my hair until like I feel like I have the immediate privacy and it's always right outside of the haircut place. I kind of like tweak it a little bit and it looks okay, but then you get some hair like on your neck and it gets all itchy.
All itchy.
Yeah.
That's why I have been, for those exact reasons, why I've been cutting my hair again since college. Get a little, the clippers and go all the way around, do that undercut thing, trim the beard, scissor the top, which is a fun thing.
Scissor the top all by yourself?
Yeah, I get it wet and then I like comb it over and then I like cut it and kind of layer it back and then I do the other side.
Huh.
And then it works. It does the trick because I like it, like the way it looks.
We should open up a haircut place when we retire.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we should. We call it Feeling Grounded, the barbershop.
And we just do episodes every single day because of the fact that we're just always together.
Love it. Love it. There we go. So you want to talk a little bit about our background, Joe? So so Joe and I are good friends. We met in college. Yeah, like our sophomore year. We're the same. I think we're the same age, right? When's your birthday? Oh, you probably shouldn't say.
I'm 71, but I look great.
Hey, me too. So it works. Look at that. Yeah, way back when we were in school in the 50s. Yeah.
Oh man.
Here's to those old days, pal.
Yeah. Which, by the way, what are you drinking today?
I'm drinking coffee. It's a Costco coffee through a Hamilton Beach coffee maker.
Mine is from Target. I see you got the dad mug because Josh, for all we know, he's a dad,
I might be.
loving dad.
Yeah.
I am drinking the Target coffee out of my Bob Ross mug. You got the Bob Ross painting and it shows the artwork. What does it say right here? Happy little accidents.
Yeah.
You don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents. That's actually not my favorite Bob Ross quote. My favorite one is, "You ever make mistakes? Let's make them birds. Yeah, they're birds now." My favorite is, of course, in every single episode, sometimes he doesn't do it, which kind of kills me inside. He like takes the brush and whacks it a little bit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. You beat the devil out of it.
Just beat the devil out of it.
It goes everywhere. Yeah, remember when you came to our house and we watched it? Like we just binged Bob Ross.
He binged Bob Ross. Bob Ross.
And that was really nice. Because I hadn't seen him in like years.
Apparently it's all on YouTube, every single episode from what I see.
On Amazon, right? I think it was on Amazon Prime. You were watching.
They got on Prime too.
Yeah.
It's time for Happy Crappy.
Start with crappy first.
Yeah, let's start a crappy. Start with the bad and then end with the good. All right, so a crappy that I had was yesterday, and I don't know if this has ever happened to you. You know when you make scrambled eggs, you crack the egg in the pan, which is what I usually do, and then just a little itty bitty shell is in there with the rest of the egg.
That ruins it.
But I usually put 3 eggs in there, so not 1. Not 2, but all 3, like little itty bitty shell. And I just don't like chewing on a shell. And the mystery of whether you're going to chew it or just swallow it or not. So I'd like trying to fish it out is always the hardest part because in that circular pan, it always goes back in.
Yeah, because of the egg whites, it's so snotty. It's like hard to like get your finger on it to like.
Never gonna look at it the same way again. It's snotty. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you. I've been there many times. Almost every morning we make eggs, which is nice.
Speaking of,
we do instead of right into the pan, I do a bowl first, and then I go
I
Like,
do, but I
so-
don't really want to waste the bowl. You know, bowls. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
This is-
I've brought it on myself. Actually, no, I would rather put it in the pan. I should count myself lucky because if I put it in the pan, I feel like it's almost harder to fish it out because the yellow part of the egg, orangey yellow, kind of covers it up. Like, where did it go?
the orangey yellow part of the egg. Love it. Okay, so that's your crappy, right? Getting shell on your scrambled eggs.
Yeah, yeah. You give me your crappy.
Sometimes I forget that it's in there, and then I'll find it out when I'm eating it. It'll be like in my molars.
That's the
it'll be
thing.
like,
I have to fish it out. Like it's OCD.
Feel you. All right. Well, my crappy is kind of similar to my happy.
Okay.
So maybe I'll say my crappy and then go right into my happy.
Yep.
Cool. Packing. I hate packing. So the happy is that we got an offer accepted on a home and we're moving, which is really cool. So packing is a nightmare. So there's boxes everywhere. It's like hard to live in the house because there's just boxes all over the place. But it's good. It's good. Yeah,
it's tough to take a look at all of those boxes too.
Yeah, you never realize how much stuff you have until you have to shove it all into cardboard boxes.
Are you taking like a U-Haul or are you getting like a moving company?
We're getting a pod, one of those big pods.
Okay.
Putting it, and then it has to go to storage unit because there's going to be a little bit of a layover time because we're getting the home. Probably won't close until the summer actually. We have to move out of this one at the end of this month.
You're not moving terribly far, right? I remember you were telling me a week or so ago.
That's not too bad. Yeah, it's like 20 minutes, 25 minutes out east. But
that's fortunate. That's really fortunate.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out. We're very, very happy. And bigger home, so 3 times the size of this one, which is awesome.
I'm sure when the summer hits, I'll be checking out that house too.
Yeah.
Laying, making my mark.
That'd be awesome. Making your mark.
How do you make a mark in a house? How do you make?
This is where my brain went. I want you in a corner, like. making your mark.
For people just listening to this, just visualize that what you will.
Okay. Yeah, that would be nice.
Like a little puppy. When he enters his home for the first time, the happiest day of their life, and then they just out of nervousness because they're in a new situation make their mark.
They make their mark. Yeah. That's another thing that could be happening soon. So I've wanted a pet.
Yes, I told you.
Yeah, but Claire, she's always kind of my wife. She's always kind of against the idea of a pet. But recently, at her office that she works at, somebody brought in puppies. And she played with this puppy and she was like immediately fell in love.
Now, what type of puppy was this?
It was a lab mix with
yes.
a big dog.
Classic. That's one I've got too.
Great Dane, I think. So it was like lab mix and Great Dane, but it just looked like a lab. It was so cute. So and she like fell in love with it and sent me all these pictures and like we're getting one. So.
Is that the one she wants?
Or no, just because it's too big. She wants a lab, which
so she's gonna get you guys are gonna get a lab after you move.
Yeah, it'll be a little while still.
Cool.
Once the babies are a little bit bigger, but
yeah. Okay. Got it on the horizon. Let me come too so I can help pick.
Oh yeah, definitely. You'll be there. All right, Joe, what's your happy?
Okay. So one thing I have been trying to do desperately, especially during Lent time, is to be more encouraging to people. You know how some people in Lent kind of give up things, or they can even add things. In this instance, I'm basically trying to be more of an adding, trying to be encouraging in different facets of my life. So what did I try to do? This was about a week ago. Yeah. Went into Dunkin' drive-through, just because I was pressed for time, but I just felt called to, just pay for the woman behind me. I didn't know what she was ordering. It could have been like, a whole smorgasbord, a plethora, a jubilee of items, but basically she only ordered a nice coffee. I was like, oh, well, at least it'll be, a pleasant surprise. So I did that, but I didn't want to get any recognition for it. So basically just visualize like the tightest turn into like a downhill from the drive-through after I paid for the person's behind me. They pull up and I'm like, I have to like go as fast as I can so they can't see me. I want to be like a mystery figure in this person's life. And lo and behold, they did not see me, though I will admit I did go the way out of the parking lot that I went through the entrance just because I wasn't thinking.
Yeah. Been there.
No one came in, so I was okay. I didn't
Okay.
make anybody else angry that I know of. But yeah, that's my happy.
Very nice. That's great. That's great. Yeah, I love when people do that. It's a good feeling. I used to do that.
I think I remember you did that when I came to Long Island, maybe about
Yeah, I like to do
when we
whenever
were in there. Yeah.
Yeah. I love to do that at Chick-fil-A because people there are just so good. So whenever I go into Chick-fil-A drive-through, I like to pay for the people behind. It's good.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a good feeling. It's a great thing to do. Kindness. It's like the pay it forward thing. Anyway. Joe, you're in London.
It's time for the news.
Time for the news. All right. So what I really wanted to talk about, basically, this is a year after COVID-19 basically changed all of our lives, whether for it be for the worse or for the better. It was a big reset for a lot of people. I'm sure we're going to like some personal accounts in a little bit, but from what I understand, an article that I had taken a look at, many states have reopened, such as, Iowa, Texas, Mississippi. Those were the first states to fully reopen. But at the same time, even in these states, what we've gathered is that, people are still fearful to, go outside and resume normal lives,
Right.
I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think it's interesting. It's interesting. Oftentimes we see that, and it's cool. We come from like this different demographic. You know what I mean? Where for me, because we're only 20 somethings, we're young and pretty fit, I'd say, with no conditions, all that stuff. So I feel like the people that I know and like the friends that I'm with, is the fear is kind of starting to disappear. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people are getting more comfortable again with their lives and like wanting all this stuff to end. But I know that people much older than me, the elderly, so on, they are still afraid and rightfully so. So it's interesting. Yeah, and I'm curious to see like how, what the stats say, with these states that have opened up completely. So I'm curious what the article says.
Yeah, I've got some data here for you. So from what I understand, about 40 million people at this point in time, and that's only about 12% of the population of the United States, has been vaccinated, both shots. They've waited the 2 weeks after, so they're okay. This is according to CDC data, but only 12% of the population. So to think about it, basically when the herd immunity comes out, from what I understand, that's when people can start taking off masks and basically resuming normal lives. They said about 75% of the population has been vaccinated. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what I read too.
I mean, from what I also saw, about only 73 million people have been vaccinated. So 73 million people have gotten their first shot. That's what I've heard. And that's only 22%. So give it another week, 2 weeks, and that percentage is going to rise up exponentially.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've only gotten my first shot too. I get it in roughly a week too.
Nice. That's great. That's great. Yeah, and I think actually, even since this article is done, that's surpassed. I just read yesterday, 2 days ago. That's actually even almost 100 million now, or it is 100 million. So it's gone up even since.
For that first shot?
That first shot, yeah.
Whoa.
So it's good. So that's like, I don't know, 30% of population or.
Yeah, that's wild. And we're on first day of spring, for a lot of I mean, it's done state by state. Like for example, Rhode Island, they're still in that 55 or 65 and older.
Right.
So they might be a little bit behind the times in rolling it out. but by the time we release this episode, it might even be different. I'm sure
right.
we'll put the date up. But
We're here.
in
Love it. Yeah,
uh,
definitely. So what more about this article do you want to talk about?
well, this is something that I found kind of interesting, and this kind of puts up in some ethical dilemma about if we should do this or not.
Mm.
So, since our shutdown back last March, research has found that about 60% of a decrease in consumer traffic, like since then. So people going out and basically living their lives and buying things, basically not going this whole stay at home fashion that I know I myself have done.
Mhm.
But about 10% of that is interesting, is attributable to shelter in place orders.
Oh wow.
So I find that really, really interesting. Um, and I'm going to actually segue. This is kind of related. The reason that they found this percentage is the way they track that is because of people's cell phone data.
Oh.
And I kind of want to get your thoughts on, you know, we have this data right here,
Mm-hmm.
but do the ends
So it's
justify
gotten.
did the ends justify the means? Should we have even done it through this fashion? Was there even another way?
So they took information from people's cell phones to see like where they were, if like how they're shopping or like how they're spending their time.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
I don't know where they exactly did this or if this is just on average in the United States, but still like the
Mhm.
problem still lies. Um
Right. Well, you know me. I think that privacy is really important to me. I know it
yeah.
definitely is, and it's a hard thing to kind of find, in the tech world because little everything is online nowadays. Everything is out there,
Mhm.
and you just look at like your um all of the things that you allow, the information. Like I'm
Mhm.
forgetting the word for it now. Like in your notifications, and then when you like agree, like what I'm talking about. You know what word that is?
The only words that came up were pop-ups, but
Yeah, like in your settings, like the stuff that you like
I was so
allow.
invested in what you were saying, Josh. I
I
just
know, right?
didn't
How about that? How about that? Yeah, because like, well, everything uses your camera, everything uses your location, like that, and then that's where they got, the fact that people like just random apps will like ask for your location, like, and so you never really have privacy as long as you have this like smartphone that's with you. So yeah, and I don't know, I kind of disagree with that. But
Mhm.
I understand like people using that information because you a lot, when you click on those agreements, you say, yeah, it's okay, you
Mhm.
can use my stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't quite understand like what that means,
Yeah.
right? What you thought?
Yeah, it's interesting that you said about the whole tracking thing. When I was at Dunkin' Donuts maybe 3 years ago, I'm always bringing it back to Dunkin', I guess. Um, and I was with a friend. We were just talking, and he was like, "Where are you going next, Joe?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going to my folks' place." And that's all I said. The cell phone was like right in front of me on the table. And
Mhm.
then when I went into my car, my phone just it said pop up, ready to go to like, and it had my address ready to go. And that is not where I was living. I was just going
Right,
to visit them.
right,
And it's listening. And I don't like that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
whether it be through like advertisements, like I just don't want it to know where I'm going just based on what I've said. It's yeah, 1984, I'm sure. And I'm sure we'll
yeah.
have this discussion quite a lot. Of course, I'm a big fan of privacy too.
Mhm.
Obviously, in that case, it wasn't harmful to me, but in none of those
Yeah.
cases, it was harmful to us showing that data. But it's like, where does it end?
I know, and that's the thing. That's the thing is people will agree to these apps and all this stuff that kind of give all of our personal information out, and it's constantly out there. People buy and sell it like crazy. And I think, and that's it. I think people just don't quite realize like what it is that they're clicking when they agree to the terms and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Um, yeah, so we kind of need a little bit of an awakening in that regard, I would think, just because we do have this right to our privacy,
Hmm.
and so that should always be cherished and
Hmm.
understood the importance of that.
Yeah. Is there a better way that we could have actually gotten this data?
I mean, you could have just polled, just asked people, have you
Yeah.
been shopping since in your free time, or you're afraid of
Yeah.
COVID, So there's other ways of doing it, but I
Mhm.
guess maybe if they, because we agreed to it, we say, yeah, it's okay, you can use our information. So then they
Yeah.
say, oh, okay, well, we got the clear, we can
hmm
use this
But
data.
there's so much that they can put in those terms of service that
Yep.
we just gloss over.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they put the accept button right at the bottom before you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's crazy. I'm interested about that, though. And it makes sense because so then if 10% of people is because of the stay-at-home order that they're not going out, so then the other 50% has to be a matter of fear. I would think people are just worried about getting sick, and it's understandable, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's just so interesting because obviously our economy wasn't built to not be
No.
utilized and for people to go out and buy things. That's kind of
Mhm.
our whole thing.
Mhm.
So, and we're seeing it in our daily life. I see it constantly every day. There's
Mhm.
businesses that are closing and all that stuff, and it's difficult. But
Yeah,
we'll,
it
we'll
is
pull
sad.
through. Pull through.
I think we will too. I think there will be some change coming around. If not the end of this year, then the beginning of the next.
Yeah, I think
It
so. I
seems
think
so
we're
far
on the tail
away,
end. We're
but
starting to see the light.
Mhm. Yeah, it seems so far away, but it's coming. This 2020 year went by actually so quickly.
Yeah, flew by. Joe, what do you want to talk about your quarantine experience? Like, what was 2020 like for you?
Well, I would have to say that I'll keep it as broad as possible, but for those 4 months, working online was fantastic. I was with my folks for quite a while during that time. Um, and after a while you get sick of people, but at the same time, like, you're there and you're safe with them. um, but then afterwards, move to a different location. um, has been probably the best part of quarantine. Basically it was a reset for me.
Mm.
In I didn't like certain parts of where I was previously in quarantine, so I was able to regroup and collect my thoughts, um, and just feel better internally before going and braving a new job, new place.
Right,
What about
right.
you, man?
Yeah, it was a tough year, but it had a lot of good things too. It was really nice being home with the kids and with my lady. The fact that she was too was really nice. So we just every day we would just spend so much time together, and it was a really big gift, especially for her since she was pregnant with the twins at the time. She really didn't want to do much of anything except relax and eat and all that stuff, which was great. It was very good thing for us. But the hard part was those financial difficulties,
Mm,
because both of us basically lost our jobs. Um, I went so part time that like I got like a tenth of what I normally make.
mm,
And Claire, same with her. And then all the stuff happened with the twins and the health problems that she had. So it was tough. It was tough. It was a difficult time. But a lot of help came along the way. People just out of the blue helped us pay our mortgage and helped us with food and helped us with all these things. And it was, when I look back at it, I see it as a good thing. It was
yeah.
a really good time and lots of gifts and lots of quality time. And I think a lot of people can kind of say that. And it's a hard thing to say because, people were suffering and it was a really rough time. But I feel like the average person like started to realize their priorities,
Hmm.
and realize the importance of their family and the
Hmm.
importance of um, being present in community and friendships and
Hmm.
all that stuff. Because now, we went so long without that like
Hmm.
it's the one thing that a lot of people are really craving. Like I'm
Hmm.
excited for this summer now with this bigger house and like it has a big outside and
Hmm.
just have friends over, do barbecues and hang out with the kids and all this
Hmm.
stuff. I'm very, very excited. So I think it'll be good this summer.
Hmm. Has Claire been vaccinated?
She has been,
She
yeah,
has been.
she
Okay.
has been. I haven't been yet. I want to be, but I'm running into some issues because
Hmm.
I'm not really. I think I qualify because I'm sort of a teacher, but I don't have like an ID. So I think if I use a pay stub, I can. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
right,
Yeah.
so I have to get on that. But yeah, she got both of them. She got Moderna,
Moderna.
and the first shot was good. Second one, she definitely had some symptoms.
Yeah. I'm getting Pfizer, so basically the way it goes,
Pfizer.
yeah, Pfizer. I feel like you get less, from what I heard, less symptoms that way, but I'll probably have to just stay cautious anyway. Maybe stay at home on that Friday.
Yeah, that's probably that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
She got chills really bad. I mean, she shivered for like 2 days.
The
But she
chills
just
and the chills and the aches are the worst for me. I don't care about a cough or anything
Yeah.
like that. I can deal with that.
Mhm.
At least my body would be comfortable. But if I get aches and chills, that's overboard for me.
Yeah, word. Feel you. Yeah, so that's what it was like.
Yeah, I think that having a message of hope for a lot of people, because certainly over the course of the summer, people were very bitter because of the shelter in place orders that had taken place. People were angry and locked down. And maybe in a sense, they're maybe still have a lot of financial difficulties. So seeing that silver lining has been like, because we all have, because you said financial difficulties too, and I know we've all had that to a certain extent. So having that silver lining and being able to see the positivity and that, getting that message out there is very, very important, because there is something good coming out of this. I can feel it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hopefully we'll see a big boom again once everything is back to normal. Everything
Mhm.
opens up again. Everyone can get their jobs and do what they got to do and realize again that a priority shift of what they have to do with their life and yeah, that they get motivated and can do that. Yeah. So I think it's good. I think it's good. It's a really good. It's a hopeful future. I feel good. I'm ready for the summer for things to hopefully start opening up and to be good.
Yep. Well, we've got no sponsors, so let's go right into.
Well, this is where it would go if they want. And if you want to.
Please.
The future is inevitable, but let's travel back in time.
So, right now it's March 21st, right? Okay, by the time we're filming this. So the first day of spring was yesterday. First full day is today?
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, because whenever I've heard like, oh, it's not the first full day of spring, but it's the first day, like I've heard that before. I don't know if I don't.
Is this the equinox or is that different? What's the spring one?
Let me look it up.
Spring equinox. All I know is that Google had a thing on the homepage, so that's how I knew it was the first day of spring.
So first full day of spring happens to be March 20th. In 2021, the spring equinox occurs on March 20th, Saturday. This event marks the astronomical first day of spring in the northern hemisphere.
Nice, and I feel it today. Where I am, it's 60 degrees and sunny.
Yeah, there wasn't a cloud in sight from what I saw.
Beautiful.
And
beautiful.
that has not been seen for millennia, it feels like.
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, this was a long winter. But the okay, so today, March 21st.
So on this day, I've got we have 3 different events that both in music, sports, and history that have really I think are really important dates.
I have some too, actually, Joe. I found like 2 extra ones that I really want to share.
Oh, seriously? Yeah, give me one. Give me one.
All right. So yeah, so what you said, music, sports, and history, right?
Yeah.
So on this day in history of those things. So the first one that I saw, I'm gonna just read you this real quick. Okay. So 2004. 2004. Ozzy Osbourne. Do you remember him?
Yeah, I actually saw Black Sabbath live back in 2013. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Every single word out of his mouth was an F word.
Yeah, I know, right? Literally. He's one of those people that like you just can't understand him when he talks. This is what it said. So in 2004, so a long time ago, I was like 9, I think. So we probably were like 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzy Osbourne was named the nation's favorite ambassador, okay, to welcome aliens to planet Earth. So the 55-year-old singer came top of a poll as the face people want to represent them to alien life. The poll of internet users was carried out following the discovery of signs of water on Mars, and Ozzy won 26% of the vote. And a spokesperson for Yahoo News at the time said, as the world waits desperately for signs of alien life, we decided to ask our users who they thought was best suited for their most auspicious of roles. Ozzy is a great choice, but I'm not sure that the Martians would make of his individual approach to the English language.
Could you imagine?
So he's the face of America if aliens ever come.
For America, and he's British.
Yeah.
Just for starters.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Whoa.
it's bad.
Who would you be volunteering
Wow.
to speak
be
to
the
alien
face?
life? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I'd have to think about that.
Because here you have Ozzy Osbourne. You just put him in front of Martians or alien life or whatever the heck. And this is a representation of all of humanity.
Humanity. Right? Isn't that funny? I don't know. Jordan Peterson.
I'm going to try my Jordan Peterson impression. So if he happens to not be available, I'm sure they have multiple people. All right. So the way that we do a Jordan Peterson impression, of course, he's Canadian, right? So he sounds a little bit like Kermit the Frog for starters. And instead of like, he rolls his L's. Instead of saying lack, it's lack.
Yes.
And instead of like complicated, it's complicated. Like he uses like the O sound.
Yeah, that was really
All right.
good.
So give me a sentence, Josh.
Well, you could say it's complicated how there is a lack of pizza in my fridge.
You know, so it's complicated. You know, it's not easy because there's a significant lack of pizza. So yeah, he also does like a so at the end of his sentence.
Okay. Yeah.
It's complicated. Let's see you do it, Josh. Like Kermit the Frog. Please do it. Please do it.
I'm so bad at impressions. Okay, I'll go. It's complicated. My voice cracked like in the middle of that.
That's a really good start. It can work.
I can't do any accents. Or any impressions. I'm so bad. I'm like the worst person when it comes to
the impression. No, it's complicated. It's not easy.
All right. How about that? So what about you? What about you, Joe? Got any music?
All right, yeah. So for a lot of people that know me, this is actually really, really important from what I saw on this day, March 21. So the Beatles. If anybody knows me, I'm a huge Beatle fan. Like Josh's wife is a big fan of the Beatles. Yeah. So is Josh too. This was the first appearance, March 21st, the Beatles' first appearance at the Cavern Club in Liverpool. Wow. About a year and a half ago, I was in Liverpool. I actually got to visit the Cavern. So let me share my screen right here. And I'm going to show you how small, how tiny this club actually is, because it is insane how many people that you can actually fit inside of that, because it's underground. It's underground. All right. Share my screen. We're on Zoom, people. So if anybody is getting PTSD from Zoom, you know, you got this to go for you. So take a look at here. You have John Lennon on the right here. Can you see that right there?
Yeah.
It's muted too. You got Paul in the middle, and then you got George, and then you got Ringo, who was recently added to the band. This is in 1962. The year that they actually started in the Cavern Club was actually 61. And they had a different drummer. You know, his name was Pete Best.
That's right.
And he was famously or infamously, you know, kicked out of the band. You know, John said that he couldn't hold any rhythm at all. And I've listened to a little bit of that. It's not the best. You know, it's not the best. It's complicated. It's complicated. You got John on the right, Ringo's in the back at this point. It's August. So they've been playing this club for a little over a year. So basically the whole amount of quarantine time, if not a little bit more. for how long we've been in this stay-at-home time, this Corona
Yeah.
time. Paul's in the middle right here, and he eventually, when they would upgrade their stage persona, they've got their suits right now, but they used to be in leather jackets. You know,
Right. That's right.
girls would like it. Paul would eventually move to the side, George in the middle.
Mhm.
And you see he's kind of like hunched over to the side right here. Maybe that's because there's not a lot of room, but he's very quiet, uncomplicated. That was his persona. You know, you got John being the smart one. You got Paul being the, you know, the cute one, as they say, you know, wiggling his hips. He's like right there. He was wiggling his hips. It's hilarious. And then
it's so fun to see the differences in their like physical appearance. Because
Yeah.
they're like, you know,
and they just started to grow out, you know, their mop tops at this point in time. It was, I remember I had a mop top. You and I both had mop tops in college, right?
Yeah.
But
Because before it was the Pomodores, right? The slick back.
Yeah, it was slick back, and Ringo had that, like, he was the latest out of all of them to like keep the pompadour. He even had a beard too, like as long as yours.
Wow.
For the brand previously. And the thing is, with Paul being relegated to the side, the reason that they didn't keep Paul in the middle that often is because, you know, he's a lefty, George is a righty, and their guitars probably would bang against each other right there, which I find so incredibly hilarious, because their first album was probably recorded. Yeah, it was recorded in '62, a little bit after this point in time of this performance, and by this point in time, they did a lot of covers, and they recorded a lot of what would be their first album in Britain, Please Please Me. You know, you got songs like I Saw Her Standing There, you got Twist and Shout, you know, from Ferris Bueller, Please Please Me, of course. But then a couple covers here and there. And they recorded that album in like 12 hours because they had such high energy. That's actually not my favorite album by them. Not by any stretch, because you have so many covers. I like all originals.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. So that's me with that one. I don't know if you got any extra thoughts, or if Claire's there, she could.
No, that's great, man. That's great. Yeah, was this their first like big gig that they had? It wasn't though, right?
They played in Germany, in Hamburg, and
right.
basically the way that I remember hearing about it when I toured, what did they do? They like slept behind in Hamburg, like a movie theater screen. You know what I mean? As I see the 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. And that's really like where they grew up, John Lennon said, because they're on their own, left their family in order to like get better. And even like playing in the Cavern right here, basically before being, you know, taken in by Brian Epstein, their manager, they, getting rid of those leather jackets and get the suit and tie, look more presentable, more. Yeah.
Love it. Cool.
Now, what's your other?
I had another. I had a history one. So if you wanted to do the sports one first, we can do the history one.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for that one.
So what was the sports one again?
So the sports one, what I understand, in 1984, this day in history. In the NFL, the owners passed an anti-celebrating rule. So basically, whenever somebody takes a touchdown, you know, there were a lot of regulations, and over time, this got more and more stringent, more strict.
That's right. That's right.
And one of the plays that I want to show you, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to mute it right now.
Right.
But I'll describe it the best way that I can. So back in 2003. You got Joe Horn, right? New Orleans versus the Giants in 2003. So you're going to take a look at exactly. So New York Giants are at 7. New Orleans are at 10 right now. And so here you're going to see this fantastic touchdown. I'm going to take out this audio.
Yeah.
Wait, could you actually hear that?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, that's good, because it kind of scared me a little bit. You got the touchdown right there.
Got the touchdown.
And what he did was he's grabbing a cell phone that he hid at the end. And I don't know if he's actually calling somebody, if it's just for show, because you got the flip phone right there.
So he pulls a flip phone out of the pylon of the.
Yeah, he hid that.
And he's talking to someone on the phone. That's great. That's really funny. Yeah, but I guess because people just thought it was kind of defaming or like kind of a prideful, messed up thing when people celebrated. So then they did all these rules back then, and then it definitely got more and more strict as the seasons kind of unfolded. That's so funny. I can't believe someone did that. I've never seen that clip before.
No, I'm not too much of a football fan myself. My family is a lot more. I pay more attention to swim or baseball.
Yeah, I've become more into baseball and hockey. I liked football when I was a kid because I played in middle school and high school. Loved it, but yeah, I just kind of fell away after I stopped watching a few seasons. But yeah.
Give me this history one.
What's that?
Give me this history one.
All right, the history one. Let's see. So I thought this was interesting. Okay. So I love like war history and the history of wars, and especially the world wars. And I thought this was kind of cool. So on March 21st, 1943, there was a plot to kill Hitler, and it was foiled. So this guy who was one of those like kind of more nationalist people who like was saying, well, Hitler is destroying, the country and is going to shame Germany forever, which obviously he did. But he had this idea and plot to take him out, and he like enlisted somebody to be like a suicide bomber to like go up next to him and just blow up. Okay.
This isn't the same. This isn't the same as Valkyrie, like the Tom Cruise based movie. That plot.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think there was a lot of plots to try to take him out.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I can't remember how many there were, but so this guy had this goal. He said, okay, you're gonna put all these bombs on, and he was like, Hitler was like making a visit to a museum. It was like looking at the stuff there and whatever. And he's like, okay, so you have to stand next to him while he's looking at things, and for 10 minutes, because the fuse was like 10 minutes long or something, and then that's it. Boom, everyone's gonna blow up. Now the problem was
didn't time it right.
Didn't time it right.
No.
Hitler was only there for 8 minutes, so they had this fuse for 10 minutes, and then after the 8 minutes he left. But then he didn't blow up or anything. He like said, you know what, it's not gonna work, so screw it, I'm done. So they decided to give up. But that's not crazy?
Yeah.
Like it's nuts that somebody was just like, yeah, I'm gonna just blow up this guy. Whatever.
Was he working alone though?
He had people with him, but the one person who was gonna do it was by himself because he didn't want to obviously kill other people.
He wasn't
so it was
in
like
the
head
room.
Guy,
right?
I forget who it was, and I can't remember the name, but he like enlisted somebody to go and do it, but it didn't happen. So.
He wasn't in the room, right? He just planted it and then had left previous. Okay.
Wonder how the guy, the bomber.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the room.
He was there. Okay.
They're strapped to him. Yeah, the bombs are strapped to him.
Wow.
So he was gonna. Okay, you do your thing.
Yeah, I got a history one. So this one takes place March 21st, 1975. So I remember in high school, I learned a lot about Ethiopia. And there were a bunch of at least actually one or two at different points in high school where there were certain talks that we got about how the state of Ethiopia now and how it is, but they went briefly into Ethiopia and mentioned briefly that it was a monarchy beforehand until the 70s. So this is March 21st, 1975. So Ethiopia was a monarchy, but was abolished in 1975. So previously you have a guy named Haile Selassie. I'm kind of butchering the name a little bit, but he was the emperor of Ethiopia. He was born, I think, in 1892. And then he was, I think he died in August 27th of that same year. So the monarchy was abolished in March, and then he was imprisoned. So to give you a little context about like Haile Selassie, he's criticized, but also he does have a lot of supporters. So he promoted a lot of global cooperation with, Western powers. There's actually a famous pic of him with President Roosevelt, Franklin Delano. And he promised, while trying to gain a place on the global stage in abolishing slavery. but he really didn't live up to it because I think the economy really depended on it. It was a feudal society, so to speak. Um, so in 28, he wasn't emperor just yet. Like Ethiopia faces a coup and it fails. And in 1930, there was an empress at the time, so he wasn't emperor yet. There was an empress, and she tries to depose him to, take him off of his role that he currently was at, and fails. And then he becomes emperor shortly after. So, as a patriarch, um, Ethiopia, his rule depended on that feudal system, which was profited by slavery. But I'm kind
He
of
lied about
yeah,
that. So he was all out just sway public opinion, make him look better, which is a typical thing, I guess,
And
right?
then I'm kind of fast forwarding a little bit, but in the 70s, particularly 1974, there was a really bad famine in Ethiopia. And to extent, he covered it up a little bit. And then there was a coup against him, and he was, like I said before, he was deposed, imprisoned, and he was actually suffocated, which is, I think, the way he died, by military personnel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But as far as like accomplishments go, why people do support him, he modernized Ethiopia. And there was also talks of him, appealing to the League of Nations, was kind of like set him up when he was when Ethiopia was invaded. And he's still remembered for that today by appealing to the League of Nations. And I think his talk with the League of Nations actually forms the basis for the song War by Bob Marley. I'm not a huge Bob Marley fan, but if we listen back to that song, I think that's basically where the influence came from.
I see.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, good to know. Good to know. It's always neat to learn about like other countries' histories and all that stuff. I love it. Love it. So, and I feel like that's something that's happened so much. Whenever we look at the past, people always come out because they want to do what's popular and they want to like get on everyone's good side. And then meanwhile, this guy was profiting off of slavery, even though on the outside he was talking about destroying it and all that. So feel it. Okay, cool stuff. So that was what year was that again? This event, the March 21st?
75.
75. 1975. Great.
What happened in 75? We finally pulled out a lot of our troops from Vietnam.
I just watched Platoon, like, gosh, three or 4 weeks ago. Have you ever seen Platoon before?
I have not seen Platoon. Is that Charlie Sheen?
Oh, yeah. Charlie Sheen, Willem Dafoe, the other guy. It was rough, man.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch, to be honest.
When did that come out? 1986?
What's that?
When did that year come out?
The movie come out?
86?
I'm not sure. I might have been later than that. I mean, look at that power of Google, right?
Power of Google tracks our data, but we need it.
Yeah, 86. You're right. 1986.
I'm very good with years, you will find.
Yeah, I guess so. That's great. Yeah, I really liked it. They had a song, the main like theme that kind of kept playing. There's it's a classical work called
classical in a Vietnam movie, huh? How about that?
Yeah. Samuel Barber. Gosh,
because you always have like textbook songs, like Apocalypse Now. You've got The End by The Doors. You've got, of course, Fortunate Son.
Yeah. Samuel Barber. I want to say the Adagio for strings. That's it. Okay. Adagio for strings. Now my college did this in a concert once, and it's a beautiful piece, but it's agonizing. And it was like the perfect song for this. And in the beginning of it, that kept playing, and it's just kind of this like flowing build up of like minor this and like it's a powerful one, and it makes sense because of what the director was trying to do in the movie, to show how awful it was and how terrible it was. And it kept playing over and over again, and it was really powerful. Yeah, so check out Adagio for Strings, all you listeners, and watch Platoon if you want to. This is before Charlie Sheen was saying.
Entertainment. Where's the entertainment, guys?
Speaking of forms of media, I think it's time that we start talking about a little bit what has been looming large in anticipation for like the last 2 years or so, and finally came out just recently, was the Snyder Cut.
Yes. That's right. I heard about this. I heard about this. Now, I have to be honest, Joe. I'm not the biggest DC guy. I don't think I've seen any of the modern DC cinematic universe. I've done everything with Marvel. And I
But
already
but I remember in college we would watch
Yeah,
that
well,
old animated Justice League
yeah, I was
show.
gonna say that. That's probably the only thing that I like
Yeah.
really watched was that like the old animated Justice League there.
Watch for Wonder Woman, didn't you?
Oh yes. As a young, I watched that. I remember when that was on TV. My
Yeah.
brother and I used to watch that when we were kids.
What would it be on Cartoon Network? They put it on.
Yeah. I think they maybe Toonami or oh no, I guess
They
that was
call
on
it Toonami. You're right. You're right. At when would Toonami come on? At like 9 o'clock at night.
Gosh, I don't remember. Yeah, it was.
You have that little robot, blue robot on the spaceship.
I want to say it was like Fridays after like it was definitely in the evenings. Yeah, and we watched like all those like old animes and.
They had it on Netflix for a while. Is it still on there?
I'm not sure. It might not be. I don't know who owns DC properties. So I guess Warner Brothers, right? They own all the.
Must be. Yeah.
I think so. But yeah. So yeah, I haven't seen this. I heard that the original Justice League was bad, like the 2017 video.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you too. I saw Man of Steel on cable a year after it came out. So this was probably 2014-ish. Right. And I really liked Man of Steel. Like I think it does have a lot of positive, like a lot of praise for that movie. But in Snyder's movies, it seems like he's got a certain, like there's always going to be haters of that movie. It doesn't have like universal praise like his movies, maybe 300. But I loved Man of Steel. I loved the ending. The ending definitely shocked me when he, twisted General Zod's neck. It doesn't really seem like a Superman thing, but it seems like an up and coming thing, like he's still learning. Right. And then you have in Batman v Superman, which sparked a lot more controversy. Batman was my favorite part of that movie. I saw that movie twice in theaters. I liked it. And I never saw the Ultimate Edition, like the director's cut. Right. But from what I hear, people love that even more. Like it fixes a lot of the plot holes. Because when I saw that theatrical trailer, I was really excited for it. Batman and Superman fighting, and then you have like a 5-minute fight. Oh, right, I'm like, come on. We all came for that fight, and it happened. Like,
and that was short. Yeah, no good.
And so by the end of it, because it's a fairly long movie, 2 hours and like 40 minutes ish. I understood one of the people why they wanted to harm the other party. I think I understood why Batman wanted to harm Superman, because Superman, hurt Gotham City or Metropolis, whatever city they were in, I forget. And then you have, I don't know why Superman wanted to harm the Batman. It was not clear to me. Maybe in the Ultimate Edition it fixes that. It was not clear at all to me. Maybe because I've seen it a bunch of times. Maybe I'm just dense in the head, and they were clear about it. But Batman, it was clear. And he had clear set motivation, but Superman, he just decided one of these days that like, I'm not going to like the Batman. And he's like, stop being the Batman, bury it. But I love the line, do you bleed?
Oh, nice.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then you have Wonder Woman, which was probably my favorite.
Yeah, I did see Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Did we watch it? No, we didn't watch it together.
No. I actually watched it alone in theaters.
Oh wow, very cool. Yeah, that was good.
I couldn't wait. I could not wait.
That was a good one.
And
so yeah, I have seen a DC movie. I've seen that one. Now the Batman trilogy, the Christopher Nolan with Christian Bale.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. There's nothing like in that universe.
No.
Yeah, okay. So I watched that and like that a lot.
Because that's the gold standard. That is the gold standard.
Definitely.
In my opinion.
Yes, and Wonder Woman. What you liked? You liked Wonder Woman.
I liked Wonder Woman, and then I think Suicide Squad came out like the year before that. I did not see it. I liked the trailer. I think everybody was pretty much on board. Leto's Joker, even though his design with like the damage tattoo on the front, I didn't really like that. And he had the grills.
Yeah.
What kind of Joker does that, man? I don't get it. And I heard that script was only written for Suicide Squad in 6 weeks, which just shows I didn't mind the character choices. but a 6-week script. No wonder it like was awful.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And they're doing another. They're doing another Suicide Squad, so I heard that might be better.
There you go.
And then that kind of leads us up to, Justice League right after Wonder Woman.
Well, when did Aquaman come out? Was that before that?
It came out, I think, in 2018.
So it was after.
Yeah, after. And it was kind of a lighter tone. Definitely like very bright colors. I think with Aquaman, I remember I sent you like a text of that scene with Willem Dafoe, back to Willem Dafoe, and you have a young version of Jason Momoa's character, and it is the worst acting I have ever seen.
That's right.
I will. See, so you'll be Willem Dafoe, like he's just being like all calm and stoic.
Yeah.
And then you just have like a huge revelation, a huge dramatic scene where his mother was executed. I have not actually seen Aquaman, just like a couple scenes here and there. But you have this kid actor, probably get no other job in Hollywood after this scene. God bless him. Like he might have had like so many good takes, but they just chose like the first take.
Yeah, like the worst one.
Like a huge dramatic revelation, and he just does this face. Are you saying they executed her because she had me? With like his gaping mouth just all disgusted. Because she had me?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. If you were ever immersed into a movie, that just reversed.
Ruins it, takes out, ruins the immersion. All right, so then the original Justice League, what was your thought on that?
So in 2017, from what I understand, you have a lot of footage, of course, that is filmed by Mr. Snyder himself. But I think because of family tragedy, his daughter had unfortunately committed suicide, which would break anybody.
Right. Definitely.
And I don't know like the details of it all, but he left the project after it was basically already filmed, his version. And then Joss Whedon came into the mix, who had filmed Age of Ultron Avengers and the original Avengers. So a very accomplished director. I actually like Age of Ultron more than the original Avengers. I don't know. I'm kind of in the minority there. Yeah. Wow. I think there's a lot more character development in that one. It's a lot of setups for the next movie, but I don't care. It made me appreciate it more after the other Avengers movies.
I liked the enemy of, I liked Ultron a lot, but the movie itself, I wasn't too big on. There's a lot of like really slow scenes, I thought.
Yeah, that's fair.
I understood like there's a lot of like the good development that happened during those, but like when they all went back to Hawkeye's house and just chilled there, it's kind of weird.
I didn't mind that. Like it actually showed like it's set up for Civil War.
That's true.
Captain America destroying that, like ripping it in half. It's a great quote. Every time someone tries to win a war before it starts, innocent people die. I love that quote. That's a good love that quote. But Joss Whedon, great movies here and there. I don't know if he's done anything else past. I'm not really an expert on him, but he stepped in, made his mark or his stain, as a lot of people thought. Like he went into the corner as you did before, and
just whizzed over everything. Yeah.
Anywho. So he makes his mark, but he tries to make it, and I think a lot of people noticed, tried to make it more like Avengers. So it was a lot less dark, more humor mixed in. In my opinion, he made Batman like the butt of a joke.
Oh, really?
Batman smiled in this movie for the first time ever in Batman history. Actually, no, the first time Batman I ever see him smile. You remember the Michael Keaton movies? You have the two Michael Keaton movies, and then you have Joel Schumacher with Batman Forever. Not a bad movie, but he like makes out with Nicole Kidman who was like fresh in her career in the mid 90s. She
Right.
kisses him and she says, "I love this man named Bruce Wayne," who obviously Batman is Bruce Wayne. He just turns around and he just goes like the goofiest looking smile in the world, but it's very campy. So I'll give it a pass. But for something like Justice League with a Ben Affleck serious Batman, like he smiles just like with his gaping whole mouth and teeth.
Right. Yeah.
Just so weird, man. Like Batman is supposed to be dark and mysterious. Like we know now, this is basically Christopher Nolan movies onward. You don't make Batman into a joke unless you're Adam West. That's fine.
Exactly.
So this movie, like they made it less dark color palette wise.
Mm-hmm.
It just, you could see so much detail, and Batman's suit just looked like he looked not ripped.
Right.
He just looked kind of like Fat Man.
Big.
I think they did reshoots too, and Ben Affleck didn't look the same as ripped.
Right. Quick question. Did this Batman, the Ben Affleck one, did he have the neck connection? Like his helmet was like where he couldn't like move his neck.
It's not like a helmet, it's more like a cowl. I think like I think he can move it more so than like the first Batman Begins movie. Yeah, like Christopher Nolan's first Batman movie, like that's how it was for, Christian Bale. Like
you could
Michael Keaton's Batman. Yeah, so they upgraded that, I think, in Dark Knight. But I think he has a lot more maneuverability, Ben Affleck's Batflex. But yeah, let's talk Snyder Cut. So this movie is not 2 hours like Snyder, like it was remade in Joss's cut, the Justice cut, as people call it. This movie is 4 hours.
4 hours?
Longer than Titanic. 4 hours and 2 minutes. No. Let me check right here.
Oh my gosh, that's a long movie.
Length of Snyder Cut.
4 hours.
Yep, here we go. Enjoy this. 4 hours and 2 minutes.
That's crazy.
Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I watched this like 2 days ago. It had come out, I think, on Thursday. Watched it with a few friends, and I was very excited for this movie, basically because it had such a cult following. You have all these people that know of Snyder's movies. He has a certain style, and Joss does not have the same style as Zack Snyder. When you see that come out into the woodwork and Warner Brothers push this movie through with a different director, a little bit after the first Justice League movie came out, people were saying release the Snyder Cut because they know that this is not his vision. And he was able to flesh it out in 4 hours and 2 minutes, and you know that his vision has been realized. And I gotta say, this is a win for the fans. A lot of people higher up were saying that this movie did not exist, which I always believed in the Snyder Cut. I'm only a casual DC fan, but I know, like, based on other Snyder movies that I've seen, like, I think this is a win for the fans. Plus, also, I'd never watched the full Justice League 2017 movie, and this was by choice. I tried watching it on cable in 2018 when it came out. My mom loved it. She was like, "You gotta watch this movie, Joe." And I was like, "Fine." I heard it was awful, but I'll try it. I'll humor you. So I watched it, and I could not get past like the 25 minute mark.
Oh, wow.
What did it for me was, of course, the horrible color palette and the wisecracking jokes by people. I don't know if it was just Batman. The Flash was awful. And what really did it in for me, this one thing: Batman is trying to recruit Aquaman in some sea village, some fishing village, and Aquaman's refusing the call to adventure. And there are a bunch of people behind Bruce Wayne. And what did Aquaman say? He says, "Yeah, dressed like a bat." I mean, this is my Jason Momoa impression. Dressed like a bat. He's in the water. "You're out of your mind, Bruce Wayne." Like, in front of like a bunch of people.
Oh no.
Like, maybe I think this is very, 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 very far away. And so people don't know who like Bruce Wayne is. Like these people
Right.
are cut off from society. So I can give it that.
Mm,
Because what happens was I was hoping to God that this scene was not in the Snyder cut.
mm.
It was.
Oh, it was. Oh,
I was initially disappointed, but then when I thought about it, I think there was some one-off line where like these people like um, don't know the outside, like so, and plus Bruce Wayne had a beard, and I think from what I saw, like the dress like a bat line was kind of just to each other, just to the two characters, so other people couldn't hear. But if he said you're out of your mind, Bruce Wayne, if people heard that and did know who Bruce Wayne was, at least his identity wasn't.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I feel you.
So I can forgive it in the Snyder cut.
Right, right. So now,
But
did the 4 hours? Did it feel like 4 hours, or was it like good?
so I started watching the movie around like 6 o'clock at night, 6:30, and then 4 hours later,
So
10:30. Took a little bathroom break in the middle of the 2 hour mark.
Mhm.
I fell asleep.
Oh,
I
no.
liked the movie. I fell asleep for about 5 or 10 minutes around the 3 hour mark.
Okay.
And I missed just a little bit. This is me getting, of course, into spoiler territory. Once you get like Dark Side,
Mhm.
seeing a little bit of that,
Right.
it was really, really cool to wake up to that and kind of be like jolted. Because by that point, the whole movie is like in 6 parts. You got intro, part
Mhm.
1, part 2, part 2.5, part 3.5. Not really. You have 6 parts, and there's like an epilogue at the very end of it.
Okay.
So it's very much he went all in.
No, that's good. That's
It's
good.
a darker looking movie. No wisecracking jokes. He's able to flesh out a lot of characters. Aquaman is very much fleshed out.
Right.
Cyborg, he's not just there like in
Right.
the
Right.
in the 2017 version. Flash is not making these wisecrack jokes as much.
Mhm.
They're all very, very much like you can tell their personalities, and you root for them.
That's good. Yeah. So I guess that's the reason why they probably made it longer, is so that
Mhm.
they can do that. They can flesh out the arcs
Mhm.
and the stories and the backgrounds. You get a good feel for each character, as opposed to just, well, they're here now and they're gonna do stuff, like that kind of mentality.
Yeah, they very much came together. With it being 4 hours and 2 minutes, I don't think there's any it sets it up for a sequel perfectly
Mhm.
at the very end, which I'm very much in favor for. And I
Mhm.
think that a lot of people who wanted this, Warner Brothers should be listening. So they should put out another movie, in my humble opinion. I think it would very much set them up for success.
Very nice. Very nice. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's exciting to see. Yeah, I was reading articles and looking at reviews and watching the trailer, and I got excited about Snyder
Mhm.
Cut. So I would like to definitely watch it and to fall
Mhm.
back into it again. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I think my main critique of the movie is that there's a lot of slow-mo, just like
Yeah.
300, a lot of brooding,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
which is okay. But I feel like in some instances, how like in the hero's journey, the hero, there's like Luke Skywalker, he refuses the hero's journey. Like I can't get involved. I got to be a farmer. I got work to do. I got to be with Uncle Ben. And then when something tragically happens to his family, then he comes to the call to
Right.
adventure. With Aquaman, he refuses the call like 4 times.
He's just not meant to be the hero. He doesn't
Once
want to
every
follow the hero
hour.
quest.
I mean, he's not like the best way that I can describe it. I really liked Aquaman in this movie. He's very much a serious guy. In the original Justice League, he was basically Chad Bro.
Mm.
And the best way that I could do that, he was very much fawning over Wonder Woman. I mean, who wouldn't? It's Gal Gadot. She's beautiful. But they didn't do that at all. They didn't do like the commentary with Flash, like she's so beautiful and stuff like that. Like they took away the stuff that wasn't needed for wisecrack and jokes. I keep saying wisecrack.
Wisecrack.
and put in what was necessary in order to build up these characters.
Feel you.
And I definitely think that Darkseid is a much better Thanos, because Thanos he's just been a meme at this point.
I know, that's true. That's true.
Reality can be whatever I want.
Yeah, I was reading some reviews and people said that too, that they thought he was better as like a Thanos than Thanos was.
Mm-hmm.
He was more brooding and all this whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's hard to say. Hard to say. I loved Endgame. I loved it.
I liked Infinity War better.
Infinity War. I love that
War
ending.
was very
Infinity War. That ending was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It set you up perfectly to what was next. And I remember just feeling like wow, like the bad guy won. You know, like how many movies does that happen? Like not very many.
It's basically like their version of Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, exactly. Had that thought. And that's so cool. That's so cool that they did that. And I remember just leaving there like, wow, like this is amazing. And of course, Claire is like, she loves her happy ending. So she's like, oh man, like this, wasn't too good.
Yeah.
But it's great.
You got a favorite Marvel movie?
Wow. Probably it would be between Winter Soldier and Thor Ragnarok, probably. Outside of like the main Avengers, probably Endgame or Infinity War is like number one, but like out of the regular main line, because Ragnarok is so funny. Yeah. And like it's just literally like a straight comedy, like it's so funny. Yeah. And then Winter Soldier is just like I love the action scenes and everything about that movie is just so solid.
I would agree with you. Yeah, Winter Soldier is mine. It really makes you feel uncertainty, which I did not get a lot in a lot of the Marvel movies, fear and uncertainty, because Captain America eventually is just working alone. And for a time, he couldn't even trust Black Widow, which made it so interesting. And with the twist and turn that, spoiler, it's been out since 2014, so watch it. You have S.H.I.E.L.D. being actually Hydra.
I know, that's crazy.
Like when I saw that for the first time, I could not believe what I was hearing. Yeah. So with that being said, you have a dynamite cast. Robert Redford, classic.
Yeah, fantastic actor. Definitely. Yeah, and that was one of the pluses of quarantine was Claire and I, we watched the whole MCU. And it was really cool to see that because when all these movies came out, I never really watched them in order. It was always kind of random and sporadic, whatever. I would hear that, oh, this one's really good. You should watch Iron Man 3. So we'd watch it. And then some other ones would come out. And then you would get these connections between the movies. And I never really understood it at first when it was coming out. But to watch them all back to back, to like recognize the characters in between and to see how literally every single episode, every single movie was like connected in some beautiful way. Oh, so good.
Yeah, no studio has been able to successfully copy or improve upon what the MCU has done. I feel like right at this point in time, there's a void. I mean, maybe that happened because of COVID, but at the same time, there's a void right now. I think after Endgame, you had Spider-Man Far From Home, which is good, but I can't help but feel that Endgame was their peak because highest grossing movie of all time. I mean, they had to release it twice, I think, in order to get that from Avatar.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't think they're gonna MCU will be able to top that at all, and that leaves the door open for something greater to come. And you don't have Star Wars. Star Wars is dead, by my opinion.
Yeah, it's dead.
More on that another point in time.
And I'm kind of hopeful though that like I don't know. I know the circumstances behind the Snyder Cut. When I saw that, like this thing happened and was gonna happen, I kind of in the back of my mind, I was like, I wonder if anyone will like redo Star Wars trilogy, the newest trilogy, just to see like do their take on it or whatever. But obviously, it's different circumstances.
I'm hoping, man.
I wish that could happen. That like somebody could just remake it, just redo it in like a better way.
You're talking about those recent films that came up.
Yeah, the most recent films.
Yeah.
The Rey saga. I wish they would like take the same characters, same actors, and then just remake it.
Please. Yeah.
That's how I feel. But
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Joel. This was a good conversation.
Yeah, man. So basically right now, what I want you guys who are listening all to do, please follow us at Feeling Grounded Podcast, one word again, on Instagram. And if you have any questions, please drop a question, drop a Q in Instagram, or you can also follow us on YouTube. Subscribe, please. Drop a like on
A comment, keep this discussion going. Yeah,
on
yeah.
this
Like,
YouTube.
what's your favorite DC Marvel movie and why? Tell us that in the comments.
Yeah. Or if anything else that happened March 21st, I would actually really appreciate another
In your
history
own life,
lesson.
how about that? A cool thing that happened on March 21st.
This happened to me on COVID time.
Love it.
Or
love
also, give me your thoughts. Give us your thoughts on basically, are you a state that's fully reopened or not? What are your thoughts on that? Plus, also,
the data, right? The privacy.
yeah, especially with privacy too. I think that's a debate that's going to be
Do you
around
think
for
it's
years
okay
to come.
for people to utilize the information that is on your phone to do statistics and all that?
Yeah, follow us at Feeling Grounded Podcast, one word, Feeling Grounded Podcast on Instagram, and also Feeling Grounded Podcast on YouTube. On the YouTube, drop a Q either on YouTube on this YouTube video or on Instagram too. We'll be able to answer any of your questions that you or just relish in your comments, all your positive praise, because I'm sure everyone's going to universally love what we're saying. Drop a like and please subscribe. Thank you guys so much for being here on this journey with us because we love talking. I mean,
Yeah,
being
and
with
this
each other.
is episode number 1, right?
Yeah, this is a historic moment.
Historic moment. We'll see what happens. We'll see what what happens in the future and the format of things. We desire to like talk about news and like timeline stuff, media, all that goodness. Yeah, we want to take everything in a good, positive, happy way, so you can just be a little bit of light in your day through some of the discussions that we have. So if you liked it, like Joe said, love us. Let us know that you love us. Please. I need affirmation. Let me know right now.
I need to know, love me, man.
Not really. Just kidding. Well, sort of.
All right.
Well,
So reflect on your love of us and make sure that you show that positive praise to us. We would very much appreciate that. And we will see you next time.
yes.
Bye, you guys.
Deuces.
You got questions?
You're feeling grounded.
We're so cheesy. Bye, everybody.
Worse.